average show, ladies and gentlemen. I know a lot of people are going to say, dude, you seem to be happy that it's an average show. Yes, because lately we have not been getting good shows. Yes, some of the pay-per-views were okay, but normal Impact shows were not that good. They sucked. So I'm seeing in the respect of these two, I keep forgetting the guys' names who are running it right now. Demont, I believe, is running it, and somebody else. I'm not good with names. I'm sorry. But I'm just seeing it from respect. If they're able to take the show when it was going like this, level it out, keep it like this for a little while, and then beginning to incrementally raise it up, I'm happy with that. I don't need Impact to dramatically turn around and be incredible. You know why? Because we've gone through that already. We went through that with Destination America. It didn't work. We went through that with Pop. It didn't work. We went through that with Anthem when in the beginning of it didn't work. I don't mind them doing a slow burn on improving the show instead of a fast one. Let them slow burn the progression instead of fast tracking it. Let's hope it works. Now, this was a average solid show. Of course, there's things that are not very good, but at least it's good enough you can say, well, I'm very happy about it. Now, here's the things I got to say that were not good. One, sound when it came to the ring segments were horrid. Maybe it's because of the sound system that was built into the place that we're working at. If the sound in the place they're working at is bad, there's not much they can do about it. But the sound was goodness awful. It was terrible. But the content they delivered was not that bad. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is the 6-man tag. Look, I don't want to see the X Division anymore. Not until they're actually willing to give them a storyline. Because as it stands right now, they're giving them random matches, which they've done over and over and over and over again. And I don't want to see it anymore. Put them on the freaking network on Explosion. I've said this before and I'll say it again. X Division for Explosion. Just leave it there. The Knockouts for Explosion. If they're not able to write for the women, they're not able to write for the X Division, put them on Explosion. Let the people look on there if they really care that much about it. Now, I don't want to do that. I'd rather see them on regular television, but if they're going to be like this, I don't care. We got to see, what is it? Muhammad Zane? I can't remember his name. But my namesake. It was good to see his showing, but he was in a dead match. And I'm not saying the wrestling was bad. Please understand what I'm saying. The wrestling wasn't bad. It was a dead match because they had nothing to do. This wasn't for the X Division title. Ishimori was not even involved in the damn match. You have Trevor Lee, who had a problem with. And he wasn't even involved in the damn match to be dealing with it. You would think that would be the wisest thing to do. But no, Ishimori was not involved. So that turned me off completely there. And when the match was over and Desmond Xavier is the one who got the pin, Ishimori comes out. They stare each other down, give a quick handshake, and then they cut away. Now, I'm not saying one of them has to be a heel, one of them has to be a face. I'm just saying there could have been a little more tension. They could have just stared each other down, face to face, ready to knock each other's heads off. I think they needed it for the X Division. Some type of fire. Look, you could say a lot about Sanjay Dutt versus Low Ki, but there was at least a bit of a fire there, not just because Sanjay Dutt got his eye socket cracked. And he got a nasty, nasty hurt eye because of it. Lucky he didn't go blind. But they at least tried to make a fire with it. That's just the way I felt about it. Now, the thing that I liked. The Park. And I keep forgetting that guy's name. James Jacobs. Or Jacob James. And the Congo Kong. I enjoyed that segment. Joseph Park's cousin is just gold. He's funny. He makes me laugh. And seeing that he's going to be going up against Congo Kong next week is just plain stupid. But that's going to make it interesting because it's obvious they're going to slowly bring the Abyss back. I'm just hoping to bring the Abyss back in a way that's much more entertaining than we had before. And then the cousin becomes the Abyss's manager. Because the Abyss needs one. He needs a freaking manager. That will work perfectly. I think that's the wisest thing to do. Now, here's something that I didn't really care at all about. I understand why they're doing it, but I don't really care. OVE goes to LAX's place and tear the shit up and take their money, take their drugs or whatever they got there and basically leave. LAX comes in, pissed as hell. They figured it out really quick. It was OVE. You finally hear Ortiz and Santana talk. I guess I'm remembering them now because I'm so freaking pissed that they haven't been able to talk, period. On the freaking mic. They got to be talking in backstage segments in these vignettes. That's the only time we get to see them talk. I'm just angry that these guys have not been allowed to talk in the ring. I've been angry that they don't even get a chance to talk for themselves. It's got to be Konnan. And that's always pissed me off. And now, next week, they're going to have a barbed wire match where the ring ropes are replaced with barbed wire. Wouldn't it be better to try and save that for Genesis? Now, the question is, will they have a Genesis-themed Impact or will they have a real Genesis pay-per-view? If there's a real Genesis pay-per-view, I want to see this on the pay-per-view. But if it's just a regular Impact, I don't really care. What have I really gained by LAX still fighting with OVE? Absolutely nothing. If, and I say this again, if Konnan had left, then we would have had something completely different from LAX because LAX would have had to deal with Santana and would have had to deal with Ortiz talking. And even if they talk god ugly, at least we would have been hearing them instead of Homicide and Konnan. That would have been something I would have enjoyed. That's me. You got EC3 going against Petey Williams. In a regular, well, this is an open challenge match. So this is not an IGC match. A Impact Grand Championship. I'm glad to see it. But I'm wondering, is the Grand Championship match removed or is it still there? I really wish they did a tournament type of style with the Grand Championship, making him defend it once every 2 months. That would actually make it more interesting. Someone had to go for a tournament once a month. You switch it up because you get to see everybody in a tournament type of style, maybe a battle royal or actual real tournament. And then you really make them go up against one another in a really special way. But this is what you get. In the end, Petey Williams loses. But then Matt Sydal comes out screaming, angry. And guess what? He kicks EC3's ass a little bit. He goes into the back and says, look, I'm sick and tired of this match. I'm sick and tired of this situation. I'm sick and tired of everything. Let's have a 60-minute Iron Man match. Okay. It would be good if it was on the pay-per-view. If there's going to be one. I'm just saying. Matt Sydal's being built up for quite a while. So has EC3 dealing with him, saying he's a choke artist. As John Cena said in his, 5 questions to the champ. But in the end, it feels like this should be on a pay-per-view, not an ordinary Impact. That's just me. Let's see. There was not much on this show. Really, there wasn't that much. There was the final match of the night. Well, no. You have, I almost forgot. You have Eli Drake. You got everybody else. And you got a fight that broke out afterward. I loved Eli Drake's segment. The problem was that the sound quality was so horrid it turned me off. Like I said in the beginning of my review, sound was a major issue. It could have been because of the venue they're in has terrible audio. And the audio system is just terrible. But the content was okay. Eli Drake sounded well. Now, Alberto El Patron didn't do that bad. And basically, you could say Johnny is Johnny. But here's the thing. They're going to be going to Chicago to do it. They're going to be doing some type of match or something there. I would rather see them do it in the Impact Zone. They don't do that many matches in the Impact Zone that are relevant for the championship titles. I mean, you get a couple of spots here and there, maybe for the X Division, maybe for the women, like what happened with Laura Van Ness. I'll talk about her in a minute. It just felt empty. It feels empty when you go to other venues with other promotions. I'm glad they're doing it because this is helping the business to a certain extent. Minor promotions are getting some and any kind of promotion. But it is kind of messing with Impact. I just feel like it should be more organized, better. You should be giving a little bit of a vignette of the promotion and then showing it once a month. It's just how I feel. Now, I talk about Laura Van Ness and her match, Laura Van Ness versus Casey Spinelli. Cute Casey Spinelli. A long tattoo down the back Casey Spinelli. A woman that you just want to look at and say, hello, want a date? In the end, Casey Spinelli lost. And Allie is the one who came and attacked her afterward. Now, I have my words at the end of this review about Allie. I'm going to leave it right there. And I'm going to the last match of the night, which I kind of got confused about, which is... I'm kind of confused about this because it kind of teasing that Lashley may be having second thoughts. Because it kind of feels like that because Lambert is kissing the ass of KM. And you're thinking maybe it's almost time for Lashley to do a face turn and return to Impact Wrestling, which would make sense. It feels like they're doing a slow burn on it. Which in this case, I don't want to see. I just want to see Lambert over with, which I know it's not going to be. Was the match between them and Moose and Eddie Edwards good? I'll put it to you like this. I was not bored with the match. But the problem for me is that I just don't know how to feel about how long this is going to take. I'm seeing it from a long-term perspective, not a short-term perspective. Short-term, it wasn't bad. Moose and Eddie Edwards got over on them. Yeah, that's good. They're going to lead into something next. They could actually do some promo segments that'll make wrestling look somewhat strong. But as a long-term perspective, Top Team has been there too long, and Lambert has had control of Lashley for too long, and they need to move away from it. That's just how I feel about it at this moment. Maybe they'll give us something more in the next couple of weeks to the next month, because we are dealing with new management, and maybe they are trying to build it properly when it was built very badly before. And last but not least, the Allie interview, and Allie is tougher. Finally, Allie is tougher. This is what I've been saying for a while. I know people like Allie as she is a sweet girl who can wrestle. But I see Allie for who she should be. She should be a combination of the new character she made as Allie and her older character before she left, where she was wrestling in Shine in the other promotion, as Cherry Bomb. She needs to combine the two, make herself a lot more tougher and a lot more relevant. For me personally, she doesn't have to turn heel. I just want her more aggressive. I want her to be able to cut the promos that she's been wanting to cut. Look, I'm not saying the actual woman, or Laura, I believe her name is Laura, I keep forgetting. Laura isn't a nice, sweet person, but she is a good talker from what I can tell. She was good when she was Cherry Bomb, and she's a good talker here. She needs to combine a little bit more of Cherry Bomb with her Allie character and make her a lot more tougher and move away from the sweet girly. I want her a little more tougher, a little more aggressive. Not saying to go away from being a good girl, but just a more tougher good girl. In the end, she did a beautiful segment with Mackenzie, who I love to give a kiss to. Anyway, was I happy with the segment with Allie going after Laura Van Ness? Yes, I was. But I really felt that even though her segment, which was very short, in that interview still relayed something that we've been wanting, at least someone who understands like me, a more aggressive Allie that will show you how tough she really is without having to resort like poo, stuff like that. She don't need to do it. She just needs to be a little bit more aggressive. People will still love her. They'll love her even more because she'll remind people of Daniel Bryan. That's what I think what will happen. She will be loved even more like a Daniel Bryan. Someone who's an underdog, but someone who really is determined. That's what we need from an Allie. But that's just my point of view. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!